if you are focused enough, you will learn the skill that is available. Like you can learn like programming, coding. So this is great, but these soft skills are the one that will elevate you, will make you find the right people to work with you and bring your idea forward.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Startup Stories, the podcast that brings you your weekly entrepreneurship education and startup training by Europe's most inspiring founders. This episode brings us together with Gnanli Landrou from Oxara, a startup that makes safe housing more affordable by providing cheap and more sustainable concrete construction materials to poorer regions in developing countries. Gnanli was born into a farmer's family of 21 and grew up in metal sheet houses in Togo, when at the age of 14, he was sent to France, graduated high school, moved to Switzerland to get his bachelor and master degrees, and ended up with a PhD. I am so grateful for having the opportunity to talk to such an inspiring person, and I can say with complete certainty that this life story is the most amazing I've heard so far, which is why I'm so excited to share it with you today. Enjoy! We can start right off.
Yeah.
So, welcome to our podcast. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy day, probably.
Thank you. Thank you again.
Could you maybe start by shortly saying your name and what your project is about?
Okay, yes. I'm Gnanli Landrou, and I'm kind of a founder of the Oxara, which means community, in Kabiye, my mother tongue language from Togo. And the project is how do you reuse construction waste, especially excavation material, to build dignified, safe, affordable, and sustainable housing. So kind of a low CO2, low cost alternative for conventional concrete, I would say.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Did you have that idea long ago, or how did that develop? How did you come to that?
Like the idea, in a sense, like I had it long ago from Togo, because I'm from a village, Kronchome, where I grew up, where we used to live in the metal sheet houses. So it's kind of like when it's rain, you feel it, and sometimes when there's a wind, it goes away really fast. Earth houses, but not dignified enough, because you have like a maintenance. You need to repair it every 2 months because of the weather condition. Or alternatively, the other option, like a concrete houses or cement brick houses, and there it's really, really warm. And I remember a discussion, because that's really the motivation. I asked my father, why don't we move from this metal sheet or earth house, because we had a metal sheet earth house, to a more concrete, which look more solid, but even if it's warm inside, it's better than this kind of unsafe area. And he said, instead of always trying to move, because he didn't have enough money, and we were like 12 at the time, instead of moving, you need to try to figure out how do you make your own house better instead of moving to a new house. So at the time I was a kid, so I was like, yeah, I was like really upset, but it kept me going. And later he sent me to an uncle to do farming, and with my uncle farming, we were also building houses. We traveled a little bit across the West Africa, and building, you came to understand also the challenge of local construction, that it take time, it take a lot of labors, and really energy that's needed. And if you're a young person on the construction site, it's really, really difficult. So the idea of how do you make the best out of local resources, but in a more rapid and easy way, was in my mind. And of course, the journey from Togo to Europe, and then from France to Switzerland, also kind of foster this kind of direction. And then I met at the end a professor at ETH, Professor Guillaume Habert, who wanted to push also this idea, was interested in how do you make earth construction much easier for people to be implementing developing countries. So, and then I joined the group, and then we worked together on this project. And now it's more bigger. It's not only earth material for developing countries. We see that also in Europe there is a huge interest because of CO2 emission due to cement, the scarcity of sand and gravel, and like a lot of the availability of construction waste that is causing like a lot of problem for recycling companies. So they want to be able to recycle it toward this and move toward the circular economy initiative and produce at the end more sustainable building material. Yeah. So
very cool.
That's
very
how
cool.
all came together, I would say.
That's a really crazy story.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know. I'm so impressed. Could you? I mean, could you maybe go a little bit into detail about your story, coming from Togo, living in metal sheet houses, to being having a PhD from ETH?
Oh yeah. Oh, this would be long, but I will try to make it short, right? So I'm from a family of now I would say 21, like three wife my father have, but we all live together. So there's no it's a huge family. We can all be two soccer team, so it's really great. You don't have the feeling of who am I going to play with? No, you have people you can play with. Like everything, you can do everything, and you can be mad at everyone, but still find the one of your family you won't be mad to, because it's really lovely. It was really nice environment, but the reality is that we didn't have enough for everyone, and even when I was a kid, it was also kind of clear that my father wants some kid to send some of his kids to different places so that he has less at home, but other kid could be taken care by an uncle and so on. But at the time, of course, you are upset and you don't know why you have to go. Most of the time, it was me who have to go, because it was like he have been sent away to his uncle the first time. I came back home, but I went back because I was like, I don't like so much my brothers. No, not like this, but I was the youngest at the time, so they could beat me up really easily. So, I don't like you guys. I go back to my uncle, right? But with him, I learned a lot, like farming, because he was a farmer, and had a nice farm also in the countryside. My father is also a farmer at the beginning, so it was kind of a good transition. And he decided with a small group to move from places to places to learn how farming work in other regions of Togo and of West Africa. So as I was on his charge, he took me with him, and we were traveling there. And that's how I came into real earth construction. Of course, before I was living in an earth house, but really building with it, and my hands on and trying to do stuff was at that time. One point that kind of made me also motivate me is I remember we were building a house with earth, and it would start raining, of course, and all the adults were had a break, and all the adults were having a drink. We call it chukutu. It's a liquor from Togo. Drinking, and they say, just send Gnanli, he will go and cover everything. Me alone cover a house because we are building, then start raining, you have to cover everything. Okay, I did it, but I was no, it is not going to happen every day. If I had to do it each time, it was I was upset. Now thinking back, it's like, oh, that's good. But yeah, it was really those small experience that shaped kind of what I'm doing now. And then at age of 14, I came back to my parents' house. So it was from 7 to 14 with my uncle traveling and yeah. And when I came back to him, he told me that he met a family from France, and they were looking to have someone who can take care of the kids at home in France. So, and me, I was like, oh, I didn't cross my mind to go to France because, yeah, I never knew what was, in a sense. And then I met, myself from my side, I met a guy who was expert of butterfly. I don't know if you guys know these things, but people call themselves expert of a lot of things. But expert of butterfly, I didn't know. But like, oh, I'm an expert of butterfly. I'm looking for this specific butterfly. I don't remember. And it was only by colors. And then I know forest because I grew up working in the farm. And I was going around in the forest where to show him where he can take the butterfly. And then he was like, you can come to France and then you will see how kids here are 14 years old. Normally they don't do these things. They are studying, they play video game. I was like, okay, it's fine. I don't care much. And he came, he went back, talked to my father, and then my father said, yeah, I'm trying to push him to go to Europe, to France, to this family, but if you can manage to facilitate also the way. And 1 year later, I see myself taking the flight to France.
Cool.
Yeah, I was like, okay. My father did everything. They told me if I want to go, I was like, yeah, I could go, but it was for 3 months anyway. So the idea was to come back. And when I arrived in France, welcomed by this professor, who afterwards sent me to the family. So I was taking care of them, the kids, 2 kids. And then was, as I say, was mandatory to go to school. So
how old were you at that time?
I was 15,
Right.
towards 16. And this woman was like, oh, if it's mandatory, we didn't bring him here to go to school, but if it's mandatory to go to school, let's put him in school and then let's see. And for me, it was like, what? School for what? I never study in a sense like this, it was really yeah. So yeah, it was really interesting. But well, yes. And also, I was also working a little bit outside to get a little bit more money. So, through the help of this professor, the lady, I went to proper school, taking care of what I call them now my nephews, because I grew up with them also. And slowly I was in Marseille, so Lycée de Marseille, Saint-Charles, and then I graduated from my baccalaureate, my bac. I went to high school, and then university in Limoges, and at the École Normale Supérieure de Céramique Industrielle. So I studied ceramic material science there, and then we went really straightforward. Okay, where are the opportunity for me to do work with clay material, close to clay material, and then bring back this technology to Africa. So yeah, I was more toward this. And at Limoges, I met this professor who studied also at EPFL in the group of Paul Bowen and so on, and we're looking for a master thesis student. And then I was like, anyway, I've been moving around each time.
Yeah.
Let's move on again. It's again, it was one after another. And yes. And then after that, I met Professor Robert Flat, who introduced me to my professor because I told him what I really wanted to do, and we discussed a little bit, and he's like, yeah, this professor is toward this, trying to set up this new chair of sustainable construction, developing alternative material for building, specifically toward like developing country. Like, that's for me. That's for me. And we understand each other. Yeah, and we understand each other quite well. So it's like the direction we would like to go, push the startup Oxara to. And so just to put it like this, I'm a really lucky person. So like meeting the right people, saying yes to opportunities, of course, like being ready for the consequences in a way. But opportunity came to me because I was open, curious to learn what people are bringing. And people were also open to welcome me in their family, to host me as their kids, I would put it like this. And like taking the opportunity of free education system or mandatory education system, then you do it because mandatory and free. So you do it, and slowly you do what's supposed to be done. And of course, not forgetting that you are from Togo, where you have other brothers and sisters. So through education, you are able to take care of them on the long run. So that's what I did. And there was also this family who took care of me when I was doing the qualification for the École Normale Supérieure.
Yeah.
Like, they host me for 2 years. The time, like from the 16 to 20, I was illegal. So they were like trying to hide me around, like how do you go to school without being arrested by the police and so on. Like, it was fun. Like I'm like, it's fine. If someone wants to arrest me, they will arrest you. So they'll send you home. So it's fine. Like, but they made it so nice. Try to say, okay, today here's the road. Normally the police should be here, but then you go on this corner, should be fine. I'm like, okay, let's go and then walk like this. You see policeman? Oh, let me talk. Yeah, like, and so it was really funny. Like, I had funny experiences like this. It was like I came back to them. Like,
such a great story, but I'm sure you cannot even imagine. Sometimes it has also been quite tough, right?
Yeah, no,
you had to learn like school stuff from the beginning.
Exactly,
the first years,
exactly.
I can see that it was tough to catch up.
No, like it was really difficult to catch up because although Togo is kind of a French country, a francophone, I would say, our way of speaking French is totally different. You know, at the beginning was like talking to French kids was like a lot of laugh because like he doesn't know how to speak, right?
I can see that.
So you have to read a lot. At some point, I just took Larousse, the dictionary, learn words, complicate words. I don't know what it meant, but at least if I put it in the sentence, like, oh, this kid is intelligent, without even understanding what it means. And like slowly, you are like, okay, I know what it means. So now I could make a really cool sentence out of it. But somehow I took all this experience as positive because it made me grow as a person or fortify my personality. Like now it's really rare that I get discouraged easily because like I have been through a lot. Like when I say I was hosted by the family, like most of the time I was cooking, like doing the house work and find time to like 1 hour mostly in the evening around 1 to 2 a.m. in the morning to do kind of exercise and go to sleep, wake up early, clean the house, send the kid to school or bring them to school before even I go to my school. So I don't recall once I was on time.
I was late.
Yeah, I was always late, really late. Not that I wanted to be late, but always because you have to. There are more important things than your own stuff, so you have to do that. And also like experiences, because sometimes you meet friends, good friends of school. They go to like a house or like party or like cinema and so on, but you don't have the budget to do the same, so you have to go back. You cannot tell them the truth that you don't have the money.
Yeah.
So why are you not coming with us? Oh, I have this cool project. Even if there's not cool project, you say it's a cool project anyway. But I have something. I need to do this. I need to do this. They don't understand. Sometimes they think that you are not a trustworthy person because you don't go out with them. You don't celebrate the like a success somehow, or you don't buy something for someone. Was the time I was like, a friend could have a birthday, I would be like, sorry, I cannot get you even a gift. I can just give you like €1 to buy a bread, but after that, if I give you more, I need to think how me I could eat, and I could take even the bus to go to school and so on. It was like really difficult. Luckily, there are a few friends that I kept that understood the situation, and were like, time to time, if I talk to them, they're like, Gnanli, do you imagine at the beginning we have to take care of you? We were cooking for you. You're like, yes. And now, see yourself, you're in Zurich. You come and then you say, hey, let's go have a party. Yeah, that's maybe at the time I couldn't. Now I can. so yeah, but I think it was really difficult. Even moving here in Zurich was also tough sometimes. But all of this kind of bring you all the strength you need to push your project forward. Like I see my project as kind of like my life, basically. It goes with my life, right? So it's what I like doing. So I live with my project. With this project. So it means that if you stop living, your project die.
Yeah.
So
it's so great to see that someone like pursues one vision and has one mission for his life, and
so exactly
just you take the opportunities you get there. Right?
I think everyone has this, right? I don't know, but I think we all have this passion for what we do. For me, it's linked also with my childhood, but I think we all feel that this project is a link to me with my soul, my body. I like breathe it, I dream it, I eat it every day. So this is really important. But that's my story. I don't know.
That's
That's impressive.
Ola.
Just purely.
That's very, very inspiring, and congratulations for me for the whole journey.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
So now you kind of developed this technology, right?
Yes. During my PhD.
How did you decide to kind of patent this technology or not do it?
Yes. Oh, it's again like I have this concept of community. For me, everything needs to be shared in a way, and throughout my PhD, what we came to understand is that it's helped the Africa, low-income countries, like affordable housing in general. But as I mentioned earlier, in the Western countries, you have other problem. That is like shortage of landfill space. So company here start being interested as well. And it was through ETH we realized that, okay, we need to patent this, because we were talking with the company and then they're like, we want all your technology, and ETH is like, no, we cannot give you that. And for us, it's like, we want just to do research. No, it's good research, but like what you are having, the way the company is insisting to get your technology, I don't think it's only like the developing country, even if I hate the term developing country, it's like you compare it to some, but African country or Asian country and so on, it's not only for them. So they see clearly an advantage here. So with my professor and the postdoc, we decide to patent the technology, and so basically what is in the patent is the additive that we add to the excavation material, really small proportion. It's a mineral additive that kind of like eatable and are also present in the ground. So it's not something fancy you have developed chemically that's so complicated. It's like something you take out of the ground and then you reinject it in the ground, and it make your earth material or your excavation material fluid, so easy to process, faster to work with, and after 24 hours you can remove your formwork where you have cast it, or your mold, so you have a straight wall, so you can build rapidly, right? And another point why we decided to patent is because it follows clearly the same construction process, so it's not different. So for construction company here or worldwide, it's like, actually your technology fits our existing infrastructure. So we don't need to change anything. We just do as if you are doing conventional concrete, and we add your additive.
Which is amazing for them.
Which is
super easy to implement for them, and
exactly.
there's no obstacle kind of in a way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
is it already first companies constructing things with it?
No, but like for instance, yesterday we had a discussion with another one, kind of try to move forward a joint development agreement, and kind of interesting to see what they need, what we want also. But by 2019, like in 6 months during summertime, is to have the one-to-one industrial demonstrator to prove that it works on large scale. We have demonstrated that it works in laboratory, but we need to use all the facility and show that we can produce it massively, and one can use it like as such. And of course, we still have like research question and so on. Like now we have sufficient strength for 2, 3, 4-story house, but could you improve it more? Like could you go higher? How could you make material for the roads? Could you use this material also for the road instead of bitumen and so on? So these are things also we are working on. Or how do you improve the hygrothermal? So basically with the material we have, you don't need so much of heating or cooling, because it captures the heat, store it when it's cold inside, so therefore it releases it inside, and when it's warm, like inside, it will release it will exchange your heat. So you can regulate the indoor temperature. Nice. So these are the things we still need to work on, but right now for sure we can scale it to a one-to-one and see how they could implement it on real project. Yes. Other than that, what we are also planning, which will be like fast track or fast implementation, is to discuss with ETH if they have a kind of a project where we can really implement the technology directly.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
That's fine. And this will be kind of our first demonstrator, showing that it complies to NOR regulations and could be done with conventional infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's kind of the plan for 2019, right?
Yes, exactly.
To come up with like a more kind of detailed plan on how to use it on the construction side.
Exactly.
I mean, you come all from the technological part, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have business people around yourself.
No,
right?
not yet.
And what are the challenges for you that you don't have these business people in the team?
This is really important because yesterday I had this discussion with the companies. It was like, I think you need someone from the business side to support you, or to mentor you, or to coach you, or to join your team. Right now, I was really happy to have Swiss initial coaching voucher. So I was in contact with a business guy with whom we were doing back and forth, challenging and try to identify the business model, the customer segment, our unique selling proposition. But of course, I need a real business person with me in the team that could answer or write down this business plan, or what is our model, what is our first priority, how to move forward. And indeed, somehow I feel with the support that exists in Switzerland, one can go a little bit far, because without, where also as a solo founder, you learn a lot also, but there's little you can do. You cannot, you don't have 20 arms, you don't have 20 brain.
Exactly.
You need to exchange with people. So clearly I'm looking now for people with business expertise, also related to construction.
Exactly.
In the construction
that
field.
Will really help you to get the industry contacts and the network in there.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
And this is clearly what I've been looking for in the past 1 month or 2 months now, or since we met. It's those people I'm looking for. And someone also with material science, chemistry background to continue improving these additives.
Yeah.
Because maybe, let's say, we want to make the additive for the road, so we need to develop it. We want to make bricks, we need to develop the specific additive for that. We want, for a specific application, maybe you might need different additive. So it's what Sika might be doing could be interesting for us to do it with the excavation material in general. Yes.
I mean, we can just we just started talking about the factor around that he's kind of alone at the moment for the whole thing, right? And he comes from the technological side, and he's actually looking for a business guy, and we can just imagine it's for us exactly the same, just from the opposite. We have ideas and we see there's a market, and we figure out how to connect, but then we're kind of limited.
Exactly.
And then we need people who develop the whole solution with us. It's in the end the same, but it's totally different challenges, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah. And I think it's really interesting to see kind of a dance, right? You need to, a partner, you need to figure out, okay, you're part because you're a duo, but complementary. A duo as a one person, you have all this vision together, or believe that it's that's the vision, and you want to pursue it. And again, you have skills, a background where you feel you have strong knowledge, and you need someone from the opposite side who has strong knowledge on another, with other background, other skill to complement you. Otherwise, you don't go anywhere. You don't go that far. It was Scott Lee, or someone like that, who say, no one can do anything, but everyone can do something. Really nice. And I was of course, as a solo person, you can try. Of course, I'm not saying you cannot succeed. You can succeed, but you imagine your success, how much will be if you start bringing people with other skill together. Maybe you will reach much more. You will exceed even more your goal, or kind of touch much more people, or many more people, if you would like to say. So yes, I'm really looking for someone actively, I would say. Now the idea is maybe to publish it on LinkedIn, or a platform where I could find someone
business guy.
Exactly.
On the side, yeah.
Totally. Yes.
So, but do you already have a first plan of how to market your solution?
Yes, but I was lucky that, again, it's really a lot of luck, that company came to me without me going to them. So...
Their first customer. Right?
Yeah, they are like, okay, let's do this. Of course, everyone wants an exclusivity, but we are in discussion now. Tomorrow, for instance, I will be going the south of France, south of Switzerland, to meet again another construction recycling company. They have a lot of excavation material, and they would like to know how they could implement our technology within it. So it means that if you have already an exclusivity with one, you cannot work with the other one. And even in the Zurich area, next week, we have 2 other meetings with construction recycling companies. So, like, they are there. They have heard about our technology. They have visited the ETH platform. They have heard about our success for the climate kick, the bridge, the pioneer fellowship. So they start having the interest, and they know also that there is a patent that we have applied for. So they feel like confident that they could do something, a business case. So like I feel like the Western market could be really straightforward in a sense that if we manage to show the industrial demo in 2019, then we'll have to just market it in a way that, okay, we are able to build with any type of excavation material. Then we can go in Germany, in Austria, in France, in other places, meet the player of construction recycling company that would be interested. Because the agreement that is around this, like from the Paris Agreement, is you need to move towards circular economy. You need to reduce construction waste. So they have to work on that. You need to reduce your CO2 impact, and you need to reduce your resources, that raw resources that are becoming more and more scarce. So this company feels this pressure, and our technology kind of like is arriving at the right time also. Again, luck. Put luck everywhere and put my name close to it. I'm really lucky.
It's a little bit of luck, but it's also quite well done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of things.
But again, like this is one step, and not forgetting my vision, which is bring housing to everyone, affordable housing. So it's what I'm trying now in parallel to do is how do I move forward, right, to develop like African country or South American country or Asian countries.
Yeah, I was asking myself that right now. So that's the big vision, right? To go back and help help developing countries. Do you have any thoughts on that? Are you my first thought was, okay, there's construction companies there, maybe you can help them make it better, or do you have other approaches?
Yeah, like I was reading a book about housing for all from World Economic Forum, and Habitat for Humanity, something like this. And for sure, like it's known that we need to build for the next 30 years for 1.5 billion people. Like coming generation, you need to build for them, accommodate them. And one way is to go through existing companies like construction, recycling company. They will build, but oftentimes they build in urban area. They don't build in rural area where you have like a huge poverty or like violence, sometimes associated also with violence. And also the fact that people there cannot afford even to buy the material for these big companies. So we will do a project or development with a company that already exists for instance, in Togo, in Ghana and so on. But how do you reach the base of the pyramid is through or provide them the technology so they can build, or you can support the construction of the house. One way is through teaching. Like you go there, say the process kind of easy also. Like you take your earth, you mix your additive, you mix it, and then you have your wall. So they could do it, but saying easy is kind of difficult, like if one doesn't know. So you have to train people how to do it. And then accept that your part is finished there and they will be the one building for themselves. Because it's not you who can build for 1.5 billion people. They need to be the one build for themselves. And no one can do everything, but everyone can do something, you see. So it's like, together, they will build much faster than you saying, hey, I am a construction company, I come here and I want to build for you. Yeah. So, and what is important with this approach is that you empower them, you give them a skill, a knowledge, they could by themselves develop themselves, but also you create opportunities, like maybe this one become like a builder, this one will be working on like as a carpenter to make the room or the door, the windows and so on. So you create skills within the community. That's really what they need. Or one will say, okay, I will make the sanitation system. So of course, Oxara could be the primary vision or activity will be how do you deliver the additive. But it will be at the end something much bigger than that. Is how do you teach people how to use properly your additive to build with the material they have directly on site. So once you do that, you can move to another place, teach another group of people, or have a huge amount of like teachers that will go everywhere and then start working with the local communities and so on. Another way is through teaching, is still through teaching, right? Is how do you deliver them how do you excavate the material, how do you bring the additives there and so on. What is interesting is like this additive could be found everywhere almost because it come from the ground. So you can create also like a school, chemical engineering school, where they learn how to extract this additive, prepare it locally, and so they like the circular economy there or the communal economy also will develop really fast. I really believe that our society need to change our approach of doing business. Need to be more inclusive businesses and more small business that could like spread everywhere really fast. If you are a big corporate, it's good to have also big corporate to be able to supply the entire, but you need also well-structured small businesses to be able to deliver the good or the service to local people really fast, because they are the one really in contact of the people, and specifically in the construction. You cannot go to Lafarge or seem to build your slums. Like, sorry, Lafarge cannot do that. But the small builder, mason in your community will be the one building for you. So find him, train him, or work with him. He will tell you how they build. You will learn from him. You will teach him also how you can match your skills and your competencies together and then develop. That's how vision, I see. Yeah, that's how I see Oxara in the future. I would say.
Cool. That's very inspiring.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So basically a school in the end, right?
Yeah, it's just a school because I haven't studied much in Togo. Do you imagine like more than 60-70% of African, like our generation, is not going to school? Just imagine you manage to bring this knowledge to people, like they are learning. Then no one will say, "Oh, we need to help them." They are able to do it themselves. They're able to do it themselves.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's jump to the big question in the end, right?
Yeah.
So, what was your biggest challenge so far, and what did you learn from it?
Regarding Oxara.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's I have few one. Again, being alone is not. It's fun, but not as fun as if you are two.
Yeah.
And it's even. I think I could have done more if I was two than alone. And this is mathematical, right? So, but really the big challenge so far is not being able to exchange with a partner, kind of limit your thinking. Like you don't have a broad way of saying like this problem. You're like, oh, it's only this. No one is coming in and say, oh, like let's think completely oppositely. So I see myself oftentimes struggling, and I am like, oh, I came up with this idea, and then I meet my coach maybe 1 week, 2 weeks later, and then he brings something. Of course, I have lost like 2 weeks for nothing. Do you imagine?
Yeah.
And this, if you are talking about startup where you need to move really fast, like this, you are not moving fast. Like you are even slower than a big corporate. So, every 2 weeks I need to reset everything. So, it's really sometimes frustrating to see that. So now I'm although I'm still looking, there are a few people I'm already talking to, try to see if we match in terms of idea where we want to work. So now I think that is decreasing, like this kind of stress is decreasing a little bit. Another challenge I had was how do you make the process work for every material, every excavation, because the resource you have in Zurich is different from Lausanne, from France, from other places. But we are working, so this is more technological side, working to improve it and so on. And of course, like another challenge is how do I first get the chemical additives so that I can prepare them together. I contact how much companies so far? Around 100 to say, I just need your raw material. And they're like, you are not a big construction company, or we cannot ship you 1 ton or stuff like this. Or like, could you ship me even 10 kilogram? No, 10 kilogram is too small. How much we need so that you can ship us? Like, you need to buy 10 ton. I'm like, could you ship us 10 ton? You are not a construction company. So it's like, you are both ways like, okay, where do I, because next year I will need to produce something, right? So I need to start thinking the raw material for the additive, where I could get them to start making the production line here. And it's really, I have to do it. I have to start thinking on like a business model, how to get funding and so on, like the patent. Alone you cannot. So really the challenge is like being alone it's good, it's fun, but not as fun. This is a huge challenge.
Yeah.
So really, and I will mention it again, looking for people that have feel themselves in this vision and who also want to help, because or exchange, because we are all here not helping and so on, but grow together with Oxara, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a very important challenge. Find the right people.
Absolutely.
We just had an interview before with someone, and he said the same.
Exactly the same. Yeah.
Finding the good people that match with you personally,
Exactly.
skills, and that you have the same vision.
Exactly.
That's a big challenge. Yeah.
It's really important because it's kind of, as I mentioned before, like vals or dancing or partner and so on.
Yeah.
Right? So you guys need to see yourself both in this vision, and because it will bring you, like, you are going to make much bigger impact if you both believe in it. If you both don't, then of course, like, every 1 year you will need to find someone else. Then it's like really, really difficult, the restructuring and so on. And maybe you have already a shareholder agreement, so you have to leave. How do you negotiate this? It's like a mess. Start making a lot of mess.
Yeah.
So even though I'm looking, I still want to take the time to find the right person. Like, clearly, I go to them, I tell them my vision. What is yours? Like, me, that's how I am. I'm really open. I will tell you what is my vision, and then what is yours. Are you seeing yourself sometime going to places where you're like completely different from Switzerland, where you are comfortable to go teach people that maybe never been to school, don't know what you are talking about, but you need to develop this empathy toward them, like, of course, and being a social person, a human being, what we call a human being, integral human being, to understand their need is also part of it. So, of course, your background, your skills are really important, but what we are doing is not only raise money or make money, revenue. We want to have a social metric. We want to build houses. We want to say at the end of the year, like, we have built for 1,000 people, 2,000 people. We have built 200 houses, 300 houses. That is, for me, the key point. If you say, let's go together, it's like, okay, we agree on that.
Yeah, that's very cool, actually. You remember we have this, like, I don't know if you're familiar with this metric stuff, kind of like a North Star metric, kind of heading to, right? And so, like, building houses could be your North Star metric, like, as much as possible.
Exactly. That's very really cool, important.
Actually. Cool. I mean, the first question we can basically jump over, probably, huh?
Yeah.
The second one maybe as well.
Yeah.
Because we talked exactly about that.
Yeah,
probably.
we covered it quite well.
Then we have one last question, right?
Yeah, the last question is, what's the best book or blog post or video that you've watched that helped you in your journey as an entrepreneur, and that you would recommend someone else read or watch or?
Okay, there are a lot of things. There are a lot of
things. One.
Yeah, I have to pick one. I think it's good to learn from other young entrepreneurs, like startups, their journey. It's how you learn, like, depending on the phase they are, you see yourself in a kind of, okay, this will happen to me, so get prepared to that. What can I do to be prepared to that? So it's really important to, like, listen to audio of young entrepreneur or talking about their story, their journey. This is really important. But then if you are looking for really good mentoring book or video and so on, there is this guy, Simon Sinek. It's really, really nice. The way he sees what is leadership, and forget about your technology, in a sense. It's like, you are not the one who will make the house for people. It's your employee or people who work with you, who believe in your dream, that will make this possible. So make them feel comfortable. Be the right person they feel like they are working with, and give them the tool or capabilities so that they are able to deliver this. And this is really, really, really nice. And I really like also, what is his name? The founder of Alibaba?
Jack Ma.
Really, really, I really like him for several reasons. Like, how he structured his business to have a worldwide enterprise without even like being the boss of everyone. So it's like, I'm here if you need me, but you are responsible of what you are doing. Like, give the freedom to people to grow. And that's really important. Of course, I believe that from each age, or from a high school degree and so on, proper education, if you are focused enough, you will learn the skill that is available. Like, you can learn programming, coding. So this is great, but these soft skills are the ones that will elevate you, will make you find the right people to work with you and bring your idea forward. But I think I need to talk also about books that are really interesting. I think, of course, Lean Canvas was really good for me to start putting down my business canvas and try to understand all the intricacy of what that means, what is this, because of course, like a material science chemist and now civil engineer, what is this? When are you talking about customer? What customer segment? At the beginning, customer segment. What is this two words mean together? Even like customer segment. It's like, a segment is like a mathematic word, and customer is totally different. And customer segment. So one segment, two segment, and then or like a unique selling proposition. Like, why someone would buy mine compared to others? Because I'm cool. No, not you, but the product. Yeah, of course. So, yeah, this book are really important to read, but recommend post and audio is like follow them, the young entrepreneur, their journey. Specifically, if you're at your early stage, really learn from them, or also being open to go talk to them. Like, I don't know, like the best book is the people who are making the books. Like, of course you can read the books, but if you can talk to them, just pick up the phone. Hey, I'm Gnanli. I feel like I'm in this stage. Maybe you have more experience. Just I want to hear more. You go there and listen, you absorb everything. They will tell you even more than you need, and you learn from that. So, and podcast, audio, Simon Sinek, I will recommend it a lot.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's very great to see that you're actually just trying to get out of your only zone of the engineering part, kind of, and you're trying to go to see other parts as well, and kind of improve yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll link to all of these things in the notes of the podcast.
Yeah.
So
thanks so much.
Thank you.
Time is up.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing that amazing journey. It's so incredible.
Really, I don't know, but
no, it really is. I mean, we've interviewed around 20 people now and 20 entrepreneurs, and it's every time super amazing. But I've never heard a story like yours. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. And thank you, guys.
Yeah, all the best, really.
I'm trying to do my best. Always trying, running, but trying always, right? All right. So it's really nice to have you also, and taking the chance with me. I hope that I didn't screw up anything with you guys. And
there's nothing to screw up. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thank you for listening to another episode of Startup Stories. Make sure to check out the show notes and our blog post with additional links at nerdentrepreneurs.com. And if you like our podcast, leave a review on iTunes. See you next Monday.